Hey, this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore, and apparently an elite athlete. Who knew? This is blowing my mind. I read a couple of articles this week where they were talking about the number of push-ups you should be able to do after age 50. And apparently, if you can do over 25, you're considered elite as far as strength is concerned, which to me is kind of appalling at a couple of levels. One, that's how many I do every single morning, just as my wake up. And number two, just how few people engage in any type of resistance training. And the results show that, when you can't do 25 push-ups in the morning, I think you got a problem. And I started looking at, okay, how many people engage in resistance training? And it falls pretty precipitously. When you get older, the number of people that are engaging in any type of resistance training at all goes down to less than 20% or so of the population, which may explain why so few people can do push-ups or any other type of strength training. And it is a complete horrible downward cascade. And I started digging a little bit further and found out that a lot of people, vast majority of adults after age 30, don't sprint again after the age of 30 because they don't participate in sports. And as a result, they don't really push themselves, and they don't play, they don't have fun, they're not running around. And as a result, they're losing fast twitch muscles. And they become very important as you get older, because the fast twitch muscles are the ones that when you stumble, you can get your leg out and stabilize yourself. And if you're losing those fast twitch muscles, you become very vulnerable to falls. When you start losing that overall strength, you can't get off the toilet. And when you can't get off the toilet anymore, you are going to a nursing home. And somebody's going to be wiping your butt for the rest of your life. I mean, that's really the stakes in this whole thing. It's not a question of living forever. It's not a question of avoiding disease. It's a question of living independently, as strong as possible. And that's what, we're trying to avoid, is frailty. So, and it doesn't take much. That's really the frustrating thing about it, is the more and more I look into this, the more I realize just how little effort it really takes. We're talking about 15 minutes a couple times a week. You can stave off most of the health problems that come from frailty. And I've been, you can do body weight, you can use bands, and now I'm trying something new. I want to test this out, which is Dr. Doug McGuff's system. He wrote a book called Body by Science, where he talks about high intensity training. And basically what that is single sets of heavy weight, very, very slow effort, up and down, and as far as the resistance is concerned. And you're pushing yourself pretty close to failure. And when you are done, you do about 3 or 4 exercises in a row and you're done. So I can go to the gym and do these exercises, and I'll do about 4, and I'm done in 10 minutes. And that's it. You do that a couple times a week, and you may be wondering, well, how do you know if it's working? Well, my girlfriend got me a human body scale, which, you can think about as far as, is it perfect? Probably not, though it was actually pretty close. I had a DEXA scan and compared the results from the DEXA scan to the human body scale, and they were within a couple of percentages of each other. So it was pretty close. I'm not sure about all the other numbers that go along with it, but at least I have numbers before I started doing the HIT training, the Dr. McGuff method, and I'll be able to track it over the next couple months, and we'll see how much visceral fat I've got, how much muscle I've built, how much weight I've lost doing it, etc. And I think it should be a pretty good relative measure to be able to test it out, and to see if this works better than bands. So it's not a bad test, and it's not a bad tool to do it, and it doesn't cost all that much. So, like I said, it was a gift, so it didn't cost me anything. So these are all tools that we can utilize to try to maximize our muscle and our strength. And the other cool thing that came, the only reason really I joined the gym was because they had two things I've been wanting to try for a long time. One of them is they've got a sauna in there, and then they've got red light therapy. So I'm now going over to the gym a couple of times a week to get in the sauna, get the red light therapy, and do my exercises in about 10 minutes or so. And it's pretty intense. I mean, I will not tell you that it's not hard, but it's only for 10-15 minutes, and then I get to go in the sauna. So it's kind of a win-win as far as I'm concerned. So we'll see how this works. I'll let you know in a couple of months what the results are and how this is keeping track. But I'm noticing some things right away, and I think probably it goes back to the sauna more than the red light therapy. Is my metabolic age actually dropped almost 6 years since I've been utilizing the sauna a few times a week. And that kind of goes along with what I've read about what it does for mitochondrial health. So there's some things that I'm starting to see some improvement already working these things, and I really do kind of like it. That I've got objective tests, I've got some things that I get to try that are kind of new and exciting, and and trying a new exercise program does keep you interested in it, and it challenges the body. And that's what we want to do. I mean, we want to just keep pushing ourselves as we get older to get a little bit stronger, because frankly, my goals are simple. I want muscle, I want strength, and I don't want to hurt myself. And that's why I'm utilizing this program, because that type of high intensity training has a tendency to minimize injuries because you're not stressing your joints. You're not, you're really stressing the muscles, but you're not stressing joints, and you're not creating an opportunity for injury to pop in there. So this is Kirk, the bariatric carnivore. I'm trying something new. Sorry, I haven't had a chance to get more messages out the last couple of weeks. I've had some technical issues with the microphone. Hopefully those will improve too. I do try to put out a couple messages each week. If you like this message, please hit like and subscribe. Join this channel of other like-minded folks. I will talk to you again soon.